Hey everyone, my name is Riley, and this video is a complete Jobber tutorial for beginners. I will show you everything that you need to know about Jobber, including how to create a client list, how you can create invoices and quotes, how you can schedule and add jobs to your calendar so that you can stay organized with all of the jobs that you have, and some of the other important settings that you need to configure inside of Jobber. If you do not yet have a Jobber account, you can go to geforcenorth.com/recommend/jobber. I will leave this link down in the description so that you can just go ahead and click on this as well. Once you go to this link, it's going to take you over to Jobber, and in here, we can get started for free. So all we need to do is go to the email section and enter in the email that you would like to sign up with. From here, we can click on Start Free Trial, and all we now have to do is create a password for the account. Once that is entered, we can start our free trial, and this free trial is now active. So we can go through this next section and just enter in some more information, such as your name, phone number, and then industry. So we can enter the industry in right here. Then we can click on next, go through and enter in the company name, the team size, and the estimated revenue. Honestly, this doesn't really matter, so you can enter whatever you like in here, and then we can click on next. It's then going to ask what the top priority is. So let's just say this is to increase efficiency. Then we can click on get started, and it's then going to give us this limited time offer. So essentially, if we go through specifically on this screen, it's going to give us a big saving when we sign up to Jobber. If we don't, then this offer is going to expire. So we can click on buy now and save if you want to, and then we can see the saving that comes in right here. So we can switch between monthly, and these are the monthly prices. Or we can go to annual, and it's going to save us even more. However, for now, for this video, let's just go back to home on this left-hand side, as everything that I am going to show you is going to be available on the free trial of Jobber. This is the Jobber dashboard. Right now, we are on the home tab, and in here we can see today's date. We can see a to-do list. So right now, this is just Jobber telling us to add a logo and explore the client portal. However, when you actually set this up, it's going to show you your to-do tasks for the current day. Then we can go down, we can see today's appointments, we can see how much the appointments are worth, if we have any overdue appointments and how much they're worth, any active appointments remaining, and then how many appointments we have completed. Right here, it's going to show us the revenue over the last 7 days. So we have projected value of work over the last 7 days and also the received payments over the last 7 days. On the left-hand side, this is the main control panel of Jobber. This is where we can create different things. So we can create clients, we can create job requests, which is a fantastic feature. I will show you how to use this. We can create quotes, we can see our jobs, and we can also create invoices. All of these sections are also available down the left-hand side. So we create each of these in this Create tab, and then we can view them on this left-hand panel. So let's start off with creating a client list. Let's click into Create a Client, and in here, we can now create our first client. Let's say this is Mr. John Smith. So we can say Mr. John Smith. We can then enter in the company name, if this is for a company. We can enter in the phone number. Let's just type that in right there. We can then enter in the email address for this person. We can then enter in property details. So if you have different clients that you will be traveling to on different days, then this is going to be very important. So what we can do is go to the street right here and just start typing in the street address. And this is going to autofill and help us out. So as an example, let's say that this person is based at 10 Downing Street in London. We can enter that in, and it's going to autofill the rest of the information. And from here, we can either just save the client, or we can save and create another. And I'm going to go ahead and create a few clients so that we can see how this would actually look when we are using Jobber. So just like that, I went ahead and created a few different clients. If we have a client that we want to delete, as an example, this sample client, then all we have to do is hover over this client, go to More Actions, and then Delete. And then we can delete all of this, delete client, and now that is going to disappear. So that is how we can start adding in our client list. Alternatively, you can import your clients. If you have a CSV file with all of your clients in, we can click on Begin Import. Upload the CSV file right here when this loads in. So we can see clients, we just upload file, upload the CSV file, and then we can import all of the clients in this way. Next, let's take a look at requests. Now, requests is essentially where you can set up a form on your website and where you can get people to actually request work from you. So whereas the rest of the website is more on the back end where we are creating invoices, we are sorting jobs, we are creating quotes, the request section is going to allow you to place something on your website, a form like this, where people can go ahead and fill this out, and this is going to show up in the request section. So to set this up, we just go to online booking right here, set up online booking, and in here we can start adding in these services. So I have a free assessment right here, but let's add another service. So we can either select from one of these services right here, or we can create new. So let's say that this is a service and this is plastering. We can enter that in right there, enter a description. Then we can go for cost. So this is, I don't know why they do it like this, but cost is essentially the cost to you. So as this is plastering and this is manual labor, this may be costing me like $5 in terms of the equipment that I need. Then the unit price is the actual price that the customer will be paying. So I might set this to $250. Then we can go down and select an image. We can select the service duration. So let's say this is 2 hours. And then we can also allow customers to select a quantity. I'm going to leave this off as it's not really relevant to plastering. Then we can click on create and add. And just like that, this is now going to be added in. So we can see $250, 2 hours for plastering. Once we have this set up, all we have to do is right here where it says share booking link, we just copy the link, and this is the link that's going to be copied right here. So all you then have to do is add this onto your website. People will then be able to click through, select the service that they want, and go through and book this in. Any requests that you get are going to show up right here. So we will see all of the requests right here. And then we can see they will be tagged with different colors. So if it's tagged with yellow, this is new. We then have assessment complete, overdue, today, upcoming, all of these different options, and they will show up right here. You can also filter at the top, so we can search requests, we can set the date, and we can also set the status that they are booked on. So as an example, I could go today, and then all of the requests that are due today are going to show up right here. Next, we can go down to quotes, and this is where we can go ahead and create different quotes. So we already have our client list. So to create a quote, we just go to new quote right here. Then we can select which client this is for. So let's say this is for Dr. Stephen Johnson. We can click on this. We can then enter in the job title. So in here, we could say this is maybe like fixed toilet leak, just like that. We can then go in, change the quote number. So this is number 1. This is the first one I've created. Then rate opportunity is how likely we think this is to come in. So I'm pretty confident that Stephen Johnson needs his toilet fixing. So I'm going to rate this as 5 stars. Then we can go down and enter the product and service. So in here, I'm going to go ahead and enter this as toilet leak fix. We can type that in right there. And as this is a new service, we can go add to products and services, and that's now added right there. Then the quantity is 1. We can enter in how much this is going to cost. So we can say this is going to be $100. And then we can also add costs in. So let's say that I've calculated this and my costs to fix this is going to be $10. We can add that in right there. We can then see how much we are going to charge, the costs, the estimated margin, and everything like that. We can also add in multiple items right here. So let's say he wants his toilet leak fixing, and we can also go in and he needs a lock fixing. So we can go in and say fix lock. Then we want to add this to products and services. Then we can add this, set the unit price to £50, add costs. So this is going to be £5 right there. And just like this, we now have this created. So we can add a client message right here. So we can add that in right there. We can see the total cost is going to be £150 to him. And then we can go down and we can either just save the quote if we don't want to send it right now. If we save, then this is just going to be saved. And we can see this in the quote area. So we can see this is currently saved as a draft. And if we want to actually send this, we just click in and then we can choose if we want to send this as a text message, an email, a job, or as a waiting response. So let's send him this as an email right here. And then we can send this email. And just like that, we've sent out this quote. So this is awaiting a response right now. To show you how this is going to look from Dr. Stephen Johnson's end, I'm now in Stephen's email, and this is the email that I have received. So he can go down and click on view quote right here. And then if he is happy with this, he can either approve this, or he could even request some changes. So he could enter that in, say what changes he wants to request. But as soon as he clicks on approve right here, we just need to type in the name, Stephen, and then approve. And this is now going to be approved. So if I now go back over to Jobber right here, we can see that this has been approved. So if I go into quotes, we can see this is going to be approved. Next on the list is going to be jobs. Now, this is where we can create jobs that we have coming up, and they are going to show up on the schedule. So when we set up jobs, we can simply go over to the schedule area right here, and we can see all of the jobs that we have coming up on these different days. So let's go in and create a job. New job. And this job is going to be for Miss Helen Welburn. We can click into this, and then we can go through and create this job. For this job, we can say that this is a boiler fix, and then we can add some instructions if we want to. Now the job number, we already created number 1. So I'm going to go in here and change this to job number 2. Then we can go down and set when this job is. So we can first of all change if this is a one-off job or if this is a recurring job. And if this is recurring, we can set the start date. So we could set the start date to today. And then we can choose when this is going to repeat. So we can say weekly on Tuesdays, every 2 weeks on Tuesdays, or we can set up a custom schedule right here and set this up. However, as this is only a one-off job, I'm going to say that this is for, let's say, Thursday, and the end date is also going to be Thursday. If this is a job that's going to take multiple days, then we can just go in. Let's say this job is going to take a week. Well, we can just set that right there, Thursday to Thursday. But this is only a one-day job, and then we can set the start and end time. So this is set for 10 a.m., and this is going to finish at, let's say, 11. This is not a very big job, 11 a.m. We can then set the team and who is going to be on this. And then down here, we can set up the line items. So as this is a boiler fix, we can enter that in right there, boiler fix, add that in. Then we can say this is not really going to cost us anything, but this is going to cost her £200, just like that. We can then once again go down and add some notes and attachments. And then from here, we can go save, and we can choose to create another job off the back. We can email them a booking confirmation or text them a booking confirmation. Once again, I will go with email and then send this email right here. And just like that, this job is now booked in. So if I now go back over to the jobs area, we can see all of the jobs that are set right here. We can see this is upcoming. We can see the date that this is scheduled on. And if I now go over to my schedule on this left-hand side, we can see that we have at 10 a.m. on Thursday, Miss Helen Welburn boiler fix. And if I click into this, I can see the location that I need to go to, the start and end time, and all of the details that I need to know. If something pops up and we need to change something right here, then all we need to do is click onto the job. Then we can go to edit. And let's say that Helen messaged me and she said, actually, I won't be in at 10 a.m. Can we schedule this for 11? Well, all we would do is schedule this in for 11 until 12. Save. And just like that, this is now changed to 11 a.m. In the invoices section, this is where we can create invoices for people. So let's say in this imaginary world that I've already been to Helen's house and I fixed her boiler. So we now need to create an invoice for Helen. So to do this, we go into invoices, create a new invoice, and then let's set this invoice to Helen. So we can select her right there. And then just like this, it's going to automatically pop up with the job that we have set for her. So if I go back as an example, and I try to set this up for Mr. John Smith, then this is just going to come up and we have to type everything out manually. However, Jobber is very smart and it knows that because we already have a job scheduled with Helen, this is probably going to be the job that we want to invoice. So we can select the job, go to next step, and then right here, we can make any changes that we need to, if we do need to make any changes. But the best case scenario is we just go down, send this as an email, and then she will be sent an email for that invoice. But you might be wondering, okay, but what if Helen actually paid me in cash? Then how do we go about that? Well, all we would do, because we still want to have this inside Jobber, we still want to know our numbers. But if this person paid you in cash, then instead of sending them the invoice, we can just click on collect payment. This is going to take us over to this page. So we can say that this was cash right here. Helen paid us in cash. save. And just like that, this is now going to save. We can see this invoice has been paid because that's the way we set it up. And that's how we can go through invoices right here. So because this has been paid, if I now go back to home, we can see in revenue that is automatically updated, and the received payments in the last 7 days is going to be 200 right there. We do also have things like reports on this left-hand side. So this can be pretty useful if you have, I'd say, a bigger team. So in here, we can see like projected income, invoices, taxations, aged receivables, bad debt, and we can click into any of these right here, and it's going to load up a report for this. So that's reports. We can then go to expenses, and this is where you can track any expenses that you have to make sure that you are billing your clients the correct amount. So we could go to add new expense right here, and we can add in the item name. So let's say we fix somebody's locks on the door. We could say we bought a new lock. We could then enter the details, enter in how much this cost. Then we can go down, select which job this was for. So let's just say this was for Helen's boiler fix. It doesn't make sense, but this is just an example. And then we can also upload an image of the receipt. Once we have this, we can click on save, and that expense is now going to be tracked. We can see what this is, we can see the job that this is for, and the amount. Going down, we have timesheets, and this is where you can track the hours that you have worked. So we can go down, you can set the hours for today. So we could go to Helen right here, or any other jobs that you have. We could enter the start time. So let's say 10 a.m. and we finished at 12. We could set that right there, add some notes, save, and that is how you can track your time using Jobber. We also have this app section, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail with this, but there are a lot of apps that you can connect up. So with these integrations, maybe you use QuickBooks as your accounting software. Well, we can connect up by simply clicking into this, connect to QuickBooks, and then we can connect this up right here so that they are synced together, and it's a very, very useful tool if you do use any of these apps. The final area that I'm going to show you in this tutorial, and I'm not going to go into crazy detail with this because it would take too long, but we can go into settings right here, go into settings, and right here you can see how many settings we have, but we can set up things like company details. Business hours is going to be very important, especially if you are taking requests online. But we can go in and edit these. So let's say that we actually start at 8 every day. We could go down and set this. And then let's say we also work on a Saturday. We could save that right there. And that's going to save the business hours. We can then go down and enter in like the country, time zone, date format, everything like that. We can go to branding and add in a company logo. Change the PDF style for invoices. We can add in different products and services right here. But most importantly is we can go to team organization, and this is where you can add in members of your team. So if you have multiple people that are working for you, you might also want to add them to Jobber so that you can add them to jobs, you can get them to track their own hours and everything like that. To do this, all you need to do is go to manage team, add user, and then you can create the user right here. So we could add this person in right here. We just enter their name, email address, phone number, how much they cost per hour. We can then choose the permissions, so what they are allowed to do within the account, their schedule, everything like that. And we can add users in right here. Once you add them, they will show up as part of your team, and then you will be able to use them to send them to different jobs and overall just have them inside of Jobber. So that is my complete Jobber tutorial. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to smash that like button and tap that subscribe button. And until next time, take it easy.